Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Susan Timchak and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And I'd like to welcome you here. In order for you to receive future updates, if you're not currently a subscriber, you'll want to hit that little subscribe button. And after you do that, there's a little bell next to that. If you click on that, you'll receive notifications as to when I will upload new videos. Now, when you do this, this helps me out tremendously with my channel because this helps me to create more and more videos to share with you. And be sure to share with friends so that we can get out there in the world of stamping and people can learn more about stamping, techniques, Stampin' Up!, and so much more. So I want to thank you in advance for that. I want to share with you something new that's been toying around in my head for quite some time, and that would be my cat Dory. That is, I was thinking back years ago. Now, I've been a demonstrator with Stampin' Up! For the past, it'll be 19 years this June, and it's hard to believe because it just seems like yesterday. But years ago, I used to do a book. It was a technique book. I had classes every month, and people would come, and everyone loved it. Now, we used to have, there were these long, skinny books. Any of you that have been with Stampin' Up! For a while, you may say, oh yeah, I remember those. Well, unfortunately, between moving, getting flooded, things like that, I have no idea. And there's my Dory. Say hello, Dory. I have no idea where that book, if it even got destroyed in the flood or what. So I thought, let's bring things back again. Let's bring back those technique books, those resources that you did a project and maybe you couldn't quite remember what the steps were. This way you can make yourself a little resource book and refer back to that. Maybe you're having a little slump in your stamping and you just need something, to kind of give you a little boost or some thought ideas. So I'm going to start from A to Z, a technique book. I'm going to be using, it as Project Life book, but I believe it's Memories in the Making, or forgive me for that, but it's a Project Life book. It's a little binder type book. So I'm going to start with this. Now, I haven't decorated my cover yet. I have a few of these books when I was doing some cleaning out. So I thought, you know what? Let's put this to good use. So here's what I've got so far. I'm starting, Dory's like rubbing her head in the book. I'm starting with the alphabet A to Z. So these little pages come separately that you can purchase. They're different sizes and they're actually meant for memory keeping. But we're going to use this book and utilize what I already have, and maybe you have too, to make yourself a little fun technique book. Now, if you're interested in receiving the little printouts I have, please be sure to reach out to me at stampinsuecreates@gmail.com, and I can forward this information to you, or if you wanted me to post it somewhere, I'm all for that. Let me get Dory's a little bit off the table here because, I got a lot of stuff going on here, and certainly my heat gun I don't want to get her involved with. Okay, so our first technique, starting with day 1 in my technique series, is acrylic watercolor wash technique. So in my book, I'm going to have a sample of the technique, and next to that, I'm going to have sort of the recipe as to how it was created. So it's sort of like a recipe / technique book. So let's get started with our acrylic watercolor wash technique. Now, I do have a little piece of plastic over the top of my little placemat here so as not to get too ruined, although it won't get ruined, trust me. Okay, so according to the directions, and you can write these down or you can screenshot them. Let me put this up here. So if you want to just make yourself your own little technique book, there you go. Fairly simple, correct? So what you need first is you need an acrylic block. Now I'm using, this is the D block. It's my most popular used block that I love. I'm going to use some markers. So what it says is scribble markers onto a large acrylic block using 2 or 3 colors. Spritz with water until the scribbles disappear. Lay a heavy cardstock like watercolor paper onto the block. Pull up, heat dry with a heat tool or blow dryer. Easy enough, right? So we got our acrylic block. We have 3 markers here. We have Daffodil Delight, we also have pumpkin pie, and we have our rich raspberry. Now I want to tell you, every time I did this, and I did it a few times, it came out something different. So let's go to town. So we want to use our broad tip of the marker. We're just going to do some scribbles, just like it said. We'll do some daffodil, and I'm kind of using the edge of my marker. You want to be careful not to ruin the tip of your markers. And let's do some pumpkin pie. We're sliding around here on this little plastic, and maybe add a little bit more of the rich raspberry. Now, to your liking. Whatever you like, it works. Okay, let me put the, oh, I put the wrong cap on that marker. Are you out there hollering saying, no, no, you put the wrong cap on? Okay, I heard you. I heard you. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our little Stampin' Spritzer. We sell these in the catalog. I'm going to pull this away from my workstation because I don't want this to get all wet. So I'm going to give it a few spritzes, and you'll probably hear it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now where are my little pieces? Here we go. So next thing it said to do, there we go. See, have the water. You might even want to do another. Let's just do one more for good measure. 2. Now it tells you to take your cardstock, and I'm using watercolor paper. I'm going to place it on the top. And I want to see what it looks like, so I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to press. I want you to see it too. See how those colors all kind of muddy together? But really nice. And I'm going to lift this up. Well, see, like I said, you just never know what you're going to get. Now this is going to be a little loud. I'm using my heat tool. I want to dry this. Whoop. And forgive me, this is my old heat tool. And if I had a little something to pick that up, hold on. Oh boy, that's really making noise, isn't it? Let me just use a little sponge to kind of dab up some of that. Okay, that'll be good. That'll be good. Okay, we're just going to dry this. You want to be careful with your fingers. Okay. Now, if you don't like that, you can go ahead and try it again. But I'm just, oh, we're still a little wet there. Hold on a sec. Right down there. Okay. I don't know. I think it adds a little interest. So what I want to do next, I'm just going to wipe that on my pans. Don't tell anybody. They're my stamping pans. Do you have stamping pans? Everybody has stamping pans. So I'm going to use my sheltering tree, because to me this kind of seems like a background, although there is a little blobbity bloop there. So maybe I'll put that in the bottom. I mean, if you don't like it, turn it over, try it again. Okay, so I put my little block on there. I'm going to use my Memento black ink, because whenever you're using these photopolymer inks, you don't want to use a StazOn. You want to use a water-based ink so that it washes off nicely. Have that inked up really well. And let's move this off that plastic, because I'm going to get a little zhuzh with that, I can tell. And we're going to stamp this down like this. Hold it for a second or two in order for that ink to absorb into your watercolor paper. We'll lift off. And look, that don't look too bad. Hey, kind of pleased with that. Let me grab my little scrubber here. Look at Well Loved. How many of you have your chamois and they look like this? They're supposed to look like this, but this is my Well Loved one. And you could wash them. I mean, it's only ink, right? Who cares? Got a little black ink, a little extra on there. I really ink that up well. One thing you want to make sure is you clean your stamps well before you put them away. Alrighty. So the next step is basically just getting yourself a piece of cardstock. Now, this cardstock, which will fit in my album, is 3 inches across by 4. So all I did is I trimmed this piece of watercolor paper down just 1/4 of an inch all around. Let me move that sponge. If I don't put that away, my cat will be loving it. I'm going to use some of my fast fuse. I mean, we don't have this anymore, but this holds really well, and I love it. Okay, so we're just going to just give a little background piece there, and I have another piece with my instructions. that I'm just going to go ahead and stick on there. And I'm just using up my scraps. I got a whole scrap bin here full of scraps. I'm a little crooked on there. I don't think I could fix that. All right, Sue, don't be too crazy. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Okay. Anyhow, then what you would do is you would go ahead and insert that into your book. And here you go. You have technique number 1, acrylic watercolor wash technique. But I just want to show you, look at how different the colors are. And here's another one that I did. I think they all came out beautiful. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope you're going to come back and continue on with this, what do I want to call it? This travel through the A to Z techniques and incorporating these into your stamping projects when you're looking for a little something extra or just trying here to learn something new. I have a lot of techniques, trust me, never ending. So this is our first one, and please be sure to subscribe and share, and if you have any questions, be sure to email me at stampinsuecreates@gmail.com, or to purchase any of the items I use here today, or many more. Be sure to visit my online store at stampinsuecreates.stampinup.net. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you have a super Stampin' Day, and I'll see you back here again real soon. Bye for now.